This blueprint represents a standard high-rise, but it contains an intentional gap. The sequence skips from 12 directly to 14, a common architectural choice driven by superstition. In this 12-floor building, there are no structural anomalies. For the night janitor, it's just another routine shift in a completely predictable environment. But skipping a number in a sequence creates a vulnerability. You can rename a floor on a button, but the mathematical gap in the sequence remains. The tension begins when that gap, a space defined by its absence, suddenly insists on existing. At exactly 2:41 a.m., the building's internal logic fails. Every security camera in the facility freezes on a single static frame. Inside the elevator, a new button appears. Despite the car being wired for only 12 floors, a 13th light begins to glow. The elevator moves upward past the 12th floor, entering a vertical space that shouldn't be there. This chart tracks the elevator's vertical axis. When the car moves past the top floor, it creates a spatial paradox, a coordinate that exists outside the physical boundaries of the building. The environment itself has become the antagonist. The threat is a simple breakdown of mathematical logic. The doors open to a hallway that looks like a mirror of the floors below, but the details are wrong. The lights buzz with a low-frequency hum, and the air is thick with dust. It feels like a space that hasn't been accessed in decades. Every single apartment door on this floor is marked with the same number, 1313. This is a reality pocket, a dimensional fragment that mimics the building, but degrades because it is entirely isolated from the rest of the structure. This floor functions as a quarantine zone, a space where the normal laws of physics have been suspended. A boy emerges from one of the rooms. He casts no shadow, and he asks a single question. Are you here to replace him?
Down the hall stands a man in a janitor's uniform. He's an older, weathered version of the man who just stepped off the elevator. This timeline chart illustrates the distortion. The trap doesn't just hold the subject physically, it bends time until their present self meets their own future state. The other apartment doors open, and a crowd of unblinking people steps out. They offer an ultimatum. One has to stay. This suggests the anomaly operates on a strict exchange. For one person to exit this loop, another must be locked in to keep the system's equation balanced. The janitor sprints. He dives through the closing elevator doors just as the crowd reaches the threshold. Reaching the elevator wasn't a victory over the anomaly. It was simply surviving the moment the system tried to fill its vacancy. In the aftermath, the police find no evidence of a crime. Engineering confirms the elevator system has no record of a 13th floor.
Management suppresses the report to avoid liability. The janitor, unable to return to the building, resigns the following morning. By erasing the incident, the company leaves the mechanism of the anomaly intact. The glitch in the system hasn't been fixed, it's just been hidden. The resignation creates a systemic vacuum, an open position on the payroll that ensures a new person will be brought into the building. 6 months later, a new employee starts the night shift, unwittingly stepping into the vacant slot. At 2:41 a.m., the cycle reboots. The cameras freeze, and the impossible elevator button begins to glow. Waiting in the window of apartment 1313 is a man in a janitor's uniform. He is finally being replaced. This flowchart shows the ultimate paradox. The first janitor's escape is the exact event that triggers the trap for the next person. The system requires an occupant to remain stable. In a self-perpetuating loop, survival is just a transfer of the burden.
The horror of the 13th floor isn't something you defeat, it's something you pass on.